Well, hey there teachers, and welcome to the inaugural video for the Heimler's History Teachers channel. In this video, I want to talk about summer assignments for AP history classes, and more specifically, why I don't think summer assignments are effective or necessary. However, if your school requires a summer assignment, then I'm going to do my best to give you my recommendations for that. Okay, first I'm going to argue that you should not give your students a summer assignment if you can help it. First of all, as is obvious, you're teaching them an AP course, and the College Board is emphatic that it is the equivalent of a college course. Now, maybe things have changed since I was in college, but I never received a summer assignment in college. Therefore, if this is a college course, let's treat it like a college course. Look, in my opinion, a break is a break is a break. And I just say let the break stay separate from the work. Like, it's not acceptable for me to take my family on vacation and be constantly checking and responding to my email. And why is that? Because a vacation is a vacation, and bringing work along is considered bad form. There will be plenty of work to do for them once the year begins, so I say let the kids rest and enjoy their vacation. Second reason not to do it is probably the most obvious. Most of them won't do it anyway, or if they do it, they will do it grudgingly because, see above, we're on break. Now, I don't care how wonderful I think the reading is or how fascinating that video is or whatever, they will not. And hey, if you've been teaching long enough, you know I'm right. I've never given a summer assignment to my students, and when they show up, I tell them just what I said here. Look, a break is a break, and I wanted to honor that for you, but now it's time to get your responsibility pants on because we're getting to work. You know, I found that they really appreciate that, and for the most part, they get right to work. Now, I know there are some of you for whom your district or your school requires a summer assignment, so if that's you, let me give you my best advice here. Do not give them a book to read. Do not give them an article. Do not ask them to start chapter 1 in AMSCO. Only a tiny fraction of the students will do that work, and even a tinier fraction will do it well. So my advice is this: give them an assignment with the same skills that you'll be teaching them, but with entirely different content. And here's what I mean. One of the fundamental skills of our AP history classes is the interpretation of historical documents and then using those documents to support an argument. So is there a way to get them doing that without realizing that they're doing it? I think there is. I've got an example linked down in the description that I think works really well. It's a set of 3 documents that were published in the New York Sun in 1835. The article is a detailed scientific description of life discovered on the moon, including, and I kid you not, man bats. Man bats. Yes! We're about to do an assignment on man bats. And these man bats are intelligent, build magnificent cityscapes, and worship at their cathedrals. And so what I would do is give this to them and say, okay, write me 2 paragraphs answering the question, are there man bats on the moon? And then have them use the evidence in the documents to support their answer. Now look at what this does. This is the special sauce right here. First of all, it gets their toes in the water of making arguments and trying to support them with evidence. Second, it surprises them. Every other teacher they have just gave them a textbook chapter to read and note sheets to fill out for a summer assignment, and you just ask them whether man bats exist on the moon. Even if they do this assignment begrudgingly, which is probably still likely, they will at least start to wonder, who is this teacher asking me to write about man bats? Third, it creates a great first class activity. Okay, how many of you said man bats live on the moon? Okay, you, tell me why. And after a few answers, what I would do is to say, okay, most students are probably gonna say no, they don't exist. But here's where you get to mess with them a little bit. Well, how do you know that they don't exist? Have you seen it with your own eyes? Have you been to the moon to confirm it? Maybe some of them really start to question whether there are man bats on the moon. And that's great because now you've just helped them understand the nature of knowledge and how we know what we know. And then you can have a robust discussion about how we know a document is trustworthy, what kind of other documents might we need to help us come to this conclusion. But fourth, and this is my favorite, it creates a lasting language and terminology in the class. And that is so great for community building. Like later in the year when you're actually teaching them how to source a document or how to analyze for point of view or historical context or whatever, that's going to be very overwhelming to them. But if you can start by saying, hey, remember the man bats? Like, how did we know whether that author was telling the truth? What did the historical context of that article tell us? And hopefully if that initial exercise went well, they will have some sense of what you're trying to get them to do in this exercise. But you've also created like insider language in your classroom, which is really good for community building. So I think it's a great thing to do. And that's my advice. Like, if you have to do a summer assignment, then do one that is skills-based, but with content that is unrelated to the class. And look, that's the principle. You don't have to use the man bat hoax. You can use anything you want. I just use that one because it's old and sensational, because like if I tried to use something new, like it would date me pretty quickly. And the kids, they're on the cutting edge of pop culture and everything that's new. And if I try to use one of those things, I would just look like I'm trying too hard. So I just like to use something old that is tried and true and that is sensational all on its own. And bonus, I don't look like I'm trying to be too hip. So, use whatever you want, but just sneak in those skills with something that is actually enjoyable. Okay, I hope that helped. If you want more videos like this one, then get that clicky finger out and subscribe, and I shall oblige. And tell me in the comments what kinds of videos that you guys would want. Like, this channel is for you, and I'm grateful that you came along, and I'll see you in the next one. Heimler out.